Where is he?
Where are you? Skull Rock. Do you know it?
Hello, everybody. This is Stacy reporting live from the Skull Rock broadcast. I am joined by...
Hello, this is Megan. Welcome back to our Stranger Things podcast. So excited to have you listening today. We are so excited to be here. We've been having a great week.
Yes.
Just getting super excited for this upcoming convention, this upcoming trip to Georgia. So we have a lot to share about that, obviously, today. But how are you doing this week, Stacy?
I'm sure people can probably tell I'm a little congested, but this head cold is on its way out. And I said it last episode, but rather us be kind of sick now versus sick for the convention. But we actually really lucked out. What did we luck out about?
So we were able to get tickets to the special events ice cream party with Joe Keery and Maya Hawke at the convention with Epic Cons. There were only 40 tickets sold. The tickets sold out in less than 60 seconds.
Ooh.
And somehow we lucked out and we got them. So we will be attending. This makes us super stressed out for when we try to buy meet and greets because...
Just a little.
But I mean, at this point, yes, we want the meet and greets also, and we're going to try to get them. But this is amazing. Like, I'm so excited that we're going to be able to do this because, I mean, we've been, in May when we talked to Alexis, she mentioned this to us. She mentioned having ice cream with Joe Keery. So we've been excited about this since May. So
I mean, she didn't take me up on my suggestion of the experience being him driving an RV in a circle, and the experience is us not tipping over and dying. She said the insurance would not cover that, which is totally understandable. But I think what really makes this event special, this experience, is from what Alexis said, Joe was very involved in the planning of this. He was very eager to have this kind of fun event to meet his fans and do an intimate, up-close, experience. And the coolest thing is that Maya was like, well, I want to do it too. So we got Steve and Robin. We're going to be having some ice cream. And I heard we get to do group photos, which is really cool. They, like we mentioned last episode, they will not be scooping the ice cream because that's a lot of work, health regulations and all that. I highly doubt they're going to be in costume. Let's let these two have a little bit of dignity. But just the fact that we're going to be able to and I say this, pardon my French, but just shoot the shit with them and eat some ice cream. I'm going to take so much lactate, Megan. So much lactate beforehand.
We'll be fine. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
Just the fact that we get to hang out with them. Incredible. And as always, we're excited to just meet everybody else who are huge fans as well. So that's going to be awesome. I had a pretty cool experience this week because, like I had mentioned on last week's episode, I went to New York City for the New York Film Festival and I got to see Pavements, which was the film that was premiering at the festival that Joe Keery is in. I did talk a little bit when we did an Instagram live about it, but the movie is really cool. It's unlike anything that I've ever seen. And my favorite part in it, and the part that got the most laughs in the movie theater was when Joe Keery was playing a version of himself.
I love that.
I just went another version of me. I was in it.
Another version of me. Yep. You're welcome, everyone.
And he is preparing for the role of playing the frontman of the band Pavements, which is a 90s band, if you hadn't heard of them like us.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it was hilarious. It was so funny. And the band was there at the
That's so
event. Cool. The filmmakers, a bunch of the cast, unfortunately, they said that Joe's filming schedule got changed because of the hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
So he was not able to make it, but he had a pretty fun time doing something else this past week.
Yes, he did. What was the name of that concert?
I think it was Charlie XCX and Troye Sivan, the Sweat Tour. And I think they went for Noah's birthday, and Sadie was there, Caleb, Gayton, Finn, and then our babysitter, Joe Keery.
I just love that, like, mind you, they're all adults, but I love that he was the oldest one, and there's just this clip that's surfacing around where it's like, it looks like he's like herding them all around like the little baby kittens, like the babysitter he is. So it's so cute to see them spending quality time together. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and I love that they're, getting to have some fun while they're in Georgia filming. And we were just commenting how we've been rewatching season 2,
Yep.
and that's like the core group in season 2 of
Yep.
like the kids and Steve. So it was really funny to kind of like make that connection too.
Which not like, we don't ever talk about their personal lives, but this is kind of, very public. But congratulations to Millie Bobby Brown. She is now Mrs. Bon Jovi.
I guess so. Brown Bon Jovi?
Yeah,
Maybe?
yeah. But her like wedding dress was absolutely a work of art. A Matthew Modine officiated the wedding, which I think is
Yeah.
just so cute. So just big congrats to her and her new husband.
Yeah, those photographs are beautiful that they've shared from their special day. So we are super excited for this episode today because, like we've been saying, we're going to Jackson, Georgia, which is the place that Stranger Things filmed as downtown Hawkins. And there are lots of local businesses in Jackson that are going to be doing cool stuff during the con weekend. So, along with like the actual event and the meet and greets and photo ops and autographs and all of the stuff going on at the event center, the whole town is going to have events going on, decorations, special different things at their different shops and businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So we are super excited about that. And we wanted to just get a chance to talk to some of the business owners and let them tell us a little bit more about the stuff that they've going on and just about their businesses in general, and kind of find out more about what it's like to have a business and work in this town where such a popular show has been filmed.
Can't wait.
All right, let's get into these interviews.
Let's go.
All right, so we have a special guest to talk to today. So welcome, Hannah. We are so excited to have you on the show. Go ahead and tell us about yourself.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm with my husband, Cameron. Cameron and I own a very fun tour company and gift shop in downtown Hawkins, filming location of Stranger Things. And we're obviously huge fans of the show. But more importantly, we also love the 80s babies. So we can sit and talk about anything that has to do with the show or the 80s in general. And we have a really good time.
That's amazing. So we are super excited because we will be in Jackson in a few weeks for the Upside Down Con that's happening. But we wanted to chat with you before then because we just think your company is so cool, and we would love to hear more about how you got started. So can you share a little bit about that?
So right as the pandemic was happening, very first, I guess, first half of 2020, I had started a company and moved a soap shop on the square. It's called Gold Lion Farm. It's a Georgia-grown, very all-natural type of granola brand that we really love, and we consider ourselves hippies. But one of the things that, happened to us is inside our soap shop, people from around the world would come and say, "What do you know about Stranger Things?" And they were making their pilgrimage around the state of Georgia, visiting various filming locations. And when I say they traveled miles and miles, so, some of them were from the southern parts of Italy or from some very small village in Iceland or Southern California. And so we noticed, hey, a lot of people are coming to visit our town, and there's literally nothing for people to engage with others in. There's, no like connection to talk to other guests or to talk to other fans. And so we brainstormed, my husband and I, and said, wow, we should have a Stranger Things tour company. And that's literally how it was born. It was born from meeting people from around the world and saying, if we were them, we've been to Salem and we've been to Disney and we've had those neat experiences where you go somewhere else. We want to offer something kind of like that. And so that's how our company was born.
That's incredible.
That's amazing. Yeah. What year did you start the company in?
So our soap company was started in 2020. And I would say Stranger Tours is about 2020, back half of 2022.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I went in November 2022 to Jackson. And I feel like maybe you really weren't up and running yet at that point.
Sure.
Or maybe just starting. So it was cool because I walked around the square and there was starting to be like a couple things here and there with like little shops embracing it. Maybe that was your shop. I can't remember. And like the mural on the wall and yeah.
So there was a mural. Our soap company is still in existence, but it has a different facility now. But we were calling ourselves Stranger Lion because of Stranger Things and Gold Lion Farm. And we were selling T-shirts. We were really trying to figure it out. We hadn't made the great big change in our shop until the very end of 2022, where we said we would take our soaps out of our shop. And so we moved them into another boutique in town, which is kind of funny. If you're making something and then you take your soaps and you're like, you guys sell those, we'll focus on Stranger Things. And it's been a journey. The artists, the murals you're talking about, are a very close friend of mine. So in Hawkins is, a real town. It's, downtown Jackson, but it's full of artists and creatives. And Ellen King is the artist behind those murals. So currently there are some really incredible ones. You've got the Hawk Theater mural. You have the murals with the iconic cast of characters in front of Buddy Blues. And you also have Welcome to Hawkins mural that she's working on right now. So there's so much talent in Jackson. She's also this incredible, roller skater. So she and I often on Tuesday nights go do $5 roller skating at our local roller skating rink and talk about art and Stranger Things. So it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So, Hannah, what could fans of Stranger Things expect when they visit the Hawkins Headquarters Stranger Things tours? What can they expect?
Sure. So we've been there for a couple of years. We were in a very small space before. We've just moved 2 weeks ago. We finally moved into our new space. And this is a very iconic corner. Can't reveal too much, but you'll be seeing this particular building in possibly an upcoming season of Strange Things. Can't say anything else, obviously, about that, but people who have watched filming and come to watch filming kind of aware of our location. But I would say that what you can expect is sort of a deep dive immersion into the 80s. So we've got a nice, huge vintage TV wall of all types of TVs from the 80s, big, small, that are playing various 80s movies. We will show the Gremlins. We show, let's see, like my favorites are Back to the Future, all of those that really impacted the Duffer Brothers in creating Stranger Things. We also have an 86-inch TV where you can play Atari. We have a really fun Nintendo setup where you're able to play Nintendo games, costume station. We have an arcade, which we're really thrilled. The first day of opening our shop, so it's 2 weeks ago now, the Duffer Brothers actually came in and played video games in our arcade for about 20 minutes with my husband, Cameron.
Wow.
So that's like basically the highlight of our life.
Yeah.
Pretty iconic. They were really charming. And our tour guides, got selfies with them and in the shop, and they were just very down to earth. And they even, were commenting. So we've got a nice VHS set of all 80s movies, and they mentioned noticing a couple of them in particular, which we won't share just in case it's a plot twist. But we were shocked that they would come and spend time with us like that on our very first day of opening. So that was huge and extremely special for everybody.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's cool. Stacy and I are definitely going to be like scouring your VHSs because
Hmm.
we love like talking about the connections to all of the different 80s movies and things in the show. So just to kind of see, oh, I wonder which ones they pointed out for season 5.
Well, try to like, I'll wink at them if you get it right. You know, be like, yeah,
There we
there.
Yeah,
go.
that's amazing. So you get to interact with a lot of different fans of the show. So what's your favorite part of that with having people come in?
Growing up in the 80s, the thing that strikes Cameron and I the most, and our tour guides are a bit younger than us, so they're in their teens and early 20s and 30s. I think the thing that strikes a chord with everybody is how generational the show is, how beloved it is by grandkids, children, young adults, grandparents, great grandparents. Everybody has sort of a frame of reference of the 80s, or if they don't know, if they weren't, alive back then, they're in this discovery phase. So we've got like a working payphone that's a landline people can call out, and so you see parents like teaching, like, when I was a kid, this is a payphone. This is how my mom would pick me up from the pool. Or you'll see a grandparent tell a story of a flight at JFK Airport and, using a payphone. And you see everybody just soaking up the knowledge of the technology and like how life really was. Like you really did not come home until the lights turned on, so you were on your bicycle all the time, out of the house. There were no cell phones, no internet. And so they imagine the life of what it was like. So for us, those fans, they're just all different ages. They're from all over the world. Sometimes they don't even speak English. And so we're very grateful for like Google Translate, to say like we had this amazing family last week from Iceland. They Ubered from Atlanta, which is a crazy Uber, by the way. It's probably $100 each way. And then they get there and they're like, hey, they just like, we don't speak English, but we want to do the tour. And so, we're so excited to welcome them, their passion and talking about each character. And even though they don't speak English and we learned how to communicate through Google Translate, we started sharing this passion. We were talking about Steve Harrington at the Hawk Theater. And we're going back and forth, and we're waiting for the translation app to say, and then I said this, and then you thought that. And, it's this amazing engagement. So it transcends, languages, countries, cultures, ages. And I think that's why we love it so much.
That's
Yeah,
incredible.
absolutely.
The fans attending the Upside Down Con, will you guys be offering tours or do you guys have anything special planned that weekend?
Yes, great question. So, we do have bus tours coming out of Jackson. That is sold out right now. So that's on
Indeed.
Friday. Tours for Saturday and Sunday. We do walking tours in Jackson. We have these really super fun tour guides. Basically, the walking tour encompasses the footprint of the filming location, but you also come back and you play trivia. You have Surfer Boy pizza out of a real Surfer Boy pizza box. And those, for the most part, are sold out during cons. We've got Saturday and Sunday. I'd say the really cool thing is you get viewfinders to use during your tour, and that's what sets us apart. So viewfinders, if you haven't ever used one, are a very realistic way of visualizing something. So prior to the internet and the 80s, you had this little red, like a tool.
Yeah, we grew up in the 90s, so we
Okay.
do know
know.
You do know the
viewfinders.
viewfinders. Okay.
We were both born in the late 80s,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
we can't claim the 80s. We weren't alive for very long of
You
it, but
weren't 80s babies.
but yes, I know a viewfinder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
viewfinders.
But I'll let you explain for people who might not know.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, viewfinders, it's prior to the internet. You got to imagine what a place looked like. So if our grandparents, for example, were going to the Grand Canyon during the 80s, they'd bring back a reel, and that'd be pictures, various pictures of the Grand Canyon, and we'd look at it, in real time as children, and that was sort of a 3D experience into stepping into the Grand Canyon. Even though we weren't there,
Mhm.
we got to visualize it. And so that's a really important way to kind of showcase a place and a location. You pull the tab and a picture changes. And so that's how our tours work, our bus tours and our walking tours. We also have something called a Haunted Hawkins Tour. That one is very different than our traditional ultimate walking tour. And essentially what it is, and we started this last year, is you get to learn about the monsters and the influence of some of the more darker characters that influenced the Duffer Brothers to create Stranger Things. So sort of pulling the connection between, let's say, we have Nightmare on Elm Street, Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger has a significant influence on some of the characters that are in Stranger Things. If you're thinking about, Victor Creel, also played by Robert Englund, but his eyes being clawed out, and this influence that Vecna has in your dreams, in your nightmares, very much like Freddy Krueger had. So there's a lot more storytelling. You're still walking the footprint of the show, but you're really understanding like the masterminds that like John Carpenter's music and sort of this really great storytelling that the Duffer Brothers do so well. That happens at night. You still get trivia, you still get pizza. The one thing I would say outside of tours that we're doing is Friday night. We're doing a free, as we're calling it, the after party, and I'll share what that means in a second. But we're doing this free, karaoke and costumes. We are hoping everyone will cosplay. Meet us at our shop. It's going to be from 8 to midnight. We have a bar set up, pizza set up, and really we're just inviting people, come hang out with other Stranger Things fans. Get dressed up in your best, Stranger Things outfit. Come enjoy some pizza, get on the mic, do some karaoke. I know everybody has at least one song that they can do on karaoke, a Stranger Things, 80s song. So, but I'm looking for duos, anybody. Let's face it, running up that hill, we'll probably hear it 5-10 times that night. It will
Oh, yeah.
never get old.
Yep.
People will, they'll have their own renditions. I hope that, it's like crazy costumes. We look at this like a miniature Dragon Con experience. Our van is in Dragon Con in the parade. And when everybody comes together, even though it's once a year, it's like we've seen each other every day. We just instantly reconnect, talk about the characters, talk about the show, and it's so much fun. You're just with people that you absolutely adore, and it's a lot of fun. So we're hoping to recreate that on Friday night. We're calling it the after party because there's a lot going on in Hawkins for Friday. So you have Dacre Montgomery is coming to basically crown the Hawkins High Queen. It's a homecoming dance. It is right off the square. It is the coolest, most beautiful building in town. It's called the Carmichael House. So this gorgeous event facility, top of the line. They've had the best caterers brought in to do the catering. He's going to come in. It's going to be like a seriously cool moment. Their homecoming court is like ready, like who is going to be queen. And then Billy, handsome Billy is whether you love Billy or hate Billy, and we have a lot of debates around here about loving Billy and hate Billy, but I think having that moment, with Dacre Montgomery is going to be great. So that's Friday. That's a little bit earlier, so if people are coming in, picking up their ticket packages, downtown, highly suggest. There's going to be a Benny's Burgers pop-up, grabbing a Benny's Burger if you're not going to the dance, or go to the dance, have the time of your life, get some slip-ons. We're just a few blocks away from the Carmichael House, so you can walk down to the Carmichael House and enjoy yourself. On the square, there's going to be food trucks. There's going to be an 80s band Saturday night. There's going to be a another fun sort of dance at the Carmichael House. The shops will be open. And then we've got tours. I know Jackson Escape Games is a Stranger Things escape experience. They're going to be doing tons of escape rooms. I think they have 6 different escape rooms you can join in, grab your friends, whether it's the lab or whether it's sort of Vecna's lair. There's just so many fun rooms that they've got over there. So we've got this great coffee company called Lucy Lou's and Buddy Blues. Buddy Blues has great Stranger Things merchandise, lots of posters and T-shirts and fun things. And then Lucy Lou's is our terrific coffee shop. They have Stranger Things themed coffee drinks. My favorite is the Hopper, but you can get, any of the Stranger Things coffee drinks. They're really creative and fun. And then Roots Outdoors, kind of across what we call the field where the library is. You'll be able to see the library in all of its glory. There's a big secret, and I'll just drop a couple of hints, but our town will be transformed with a little bit of upside down vibes. So you'll be lots of places for selfies. And then Roots Outdoors got a great selfie station. They also have some awesome shirts and fun things. And then, of course, Lena Jane's. Lena Jane's on Saturday nights. It's a really cute boutique in town. They are doing blacklight poster painting. So if you know anything about blacklight posters, they glow. They're like got this really cool retro vibe. Very Eddie Munson. Okay, I'm just going to say that. Very Eddie Munson. And so she's got a really cool painting artist. So you can sign up to paint your own blacklight poster at Lena Jane. She's also going to have some really original vendors over there. Locally made Stranger Things stuff, which will be fun. Then, of course, Hawkins Headquarters. That's where we are. We're all Stranger Things. We've got lots of cool artists and things. We can't wait to show you guys. So there'll be lots of fun. Highly suggest. Oh, Saturday night, I forgot to mention we have an 80s band on our Orchard Park. So that's right on the square between the downtown area, the library, and the Carmichael House. And that is going to have a live 80s band to kind of jam out too. So many things. And of course,
Yeah.
the EMC building where the convention is being hosted is roughly a 5-minute drive to downtown Hawkins. So really, really close.
That's
That's
awesome.
amazing. Yeah. We have talked to Alexis. She said that you guys put together like a pamphlet or information sheet to hand out at registration.
That's
so that's going to be
right.
really helpful.
Super helpful. So anybody attending the convention, it's really cool. It's put on by our Chamber of Commerce, and it's a guide. It's set up like a newspaper format, so you can really get the sort of Hawkins reporter vibe. And then it'll tell you all the goodness, like where to park, what to do, where to eat, all the fun late night stuff. Where to drink if you like a good glass of wine or you just really kind of want to hang out with your friends. There's just so much to see and do. But I think in terms of like the fact is this is a small town. So planning is very key. You want to make sure you're taking advantage of all the fun things and know where to park. And I would say we are like a Hallmark movie in many respects where if we're more than safe. This is like the most uber safe town I've personally ever been to. But, it's new. So, for example, you don't pay to park on the square. We tell people every day, they're like shocked. There's no paid parking. No, there's no paid parking. There's free parking. We do have fast food restaurants like Zaxby's and McDonald's, and we have a Waffle House. So if you're new to the South, highly suggest you check out our local Waffle House, which is everything from grits and waffles and, biscuits and things like that. But there's going to be food for everybody. We have some great local restaurants. The Brickery is our a really nice pizzeria. But we also have bars if people are looking to like have a great cocktail. There's a Stranger Things drink at the Brickery. That's really fun. I think it's a 70 beer tap at the Goat Island Tavern, which is a couple of shops down from us. So just lots of things to kind of hang out and enjoy.
So, Hannah, what would you say is like the most rewarding part of starting a business like this?
Oh, that's a great question. And I think one of the things that surprised us is how much fun people have in our small town. I can see it for myself too. So when I travel and I'm like really gobsmacked, like if we're going to Salem, like I am like, my eyes are just like open. I can't believe how much fun I'm having. It's just so enjoyable. And that's what we get. We get that experience from people coming to our small town. We've had people break down and cry from happiness. We've had people on a road trip to Disney where they're literally dragging their children out of the store saying, we're going to Disney. And the kids say, I don't want to go to Disney. I want to stay here. When you are in Hawkins and when you're around people who love the show, there is this sort of sense of camaraderie. There's a definite character, a common characteristic in people who like Stranger Things. And when we're together, it's like you find your people. And so I think that's one of our favorite things about being fans ourselves. but being around other Stranger Things fans is we're all just have this similarity about us. We identify with a particular character in the show. I think for me too, the show is about being an outsider. It's about kind of navigating this world as an outsider. Whether you're Eddie Munson or whether you're Lucas or Will, we all have these challenges in life. We all have these things we have to get through. And so when you find people who love the show, I think there is a commonality that I've had to navigate something or I had to identify a certain way. And so you find those relationships are really easy with other Stranger Things fans. And that is my favorite thing, is just the sheer joy that we get to deliver every day. It is, I mean, our tour guides will say, like, this is the most fun job I've ever had. And it really is, it honestly is.
That's beautiful. I think we connect to that so much because that's what we've found in each other and everybody we talk to when we have people on the podcast. When we first met in person, we were like, it's just so easy to talk to you. Like if I
Yep.
was going to have a podcast with someone, let's do it together because we could talk about this show all day.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's really beautiful. So,
Exactly.
thank you for sharing all of that. I have a question since you mentioned identifying with certain characters. Who is your favorite character from the show?
So every day it changes. Almost every day I'll have a scene in my head or I'll relate to something very specific. Across the board, Erica Sinclair has been my favorite character. So I love
there,
her. I think part of it is I was about her age in this time. So I see myself as sort of on the younger side of the show with the character development, having, older kids around, but she's so brilliant. First, the actress herself. I mean, she's beautiful, she's witty, her timing is so perfect. But then when it comes to always being the hero, but not necessarily recognized as always the hero, whether she joins in the Hellfire Club and she's like, I'm Lady Applejack. I mean, that scene, I get goosebumps every time I talk about Lady Apple. In fact, I have this whole area about My Little Pony for Erica because I get excited when I think about her character and how she grew up. I would say in terms of like favorite parts of the show, my husband and I, we came from food service. So years and years of, high expectations, customer service, and still we're very drawn to food. We're big food people. So any scene that involves food is also my favorite scene. So some examples might be like when I'm thinking about Eddie Munson he's hiding out. He's eating honeycomb cereal out of the box and he's got this yoo-hoo. That's a real thing. Like we did that as kids. Like we ate. I can still smell those two things together. I think about Hopper and Alexi, and Hopper's in difference to Alexi's preferences on a Slurpee. Cherry versus strawberry, and then the contrast to Hopper is the peanut butter scene. When he breaks in the room and he opens his peanut butter, and he starts out like super indifferent to food, like it's always available, and then he's practically been starved to death, and it's this crazy scene like peanut butter, and nobody in my world at least loves peanut butter like that, but you get the desperation, you get where he has been and where he's coming from. I also think funny scenes, which all these characters are very endearing to me, but like Argyle and Eleven, like trying to convince Mike. And this time that was really true. Like not everybody liked pineapple on pizza. And Mike's like, it's blasphemous, which is this huge word for pizza. It's so over the top. But, Eleven and Argyle are like, it's good. And he's like, it's disgusting. And so I think all of those food scenes really endear me to each character. And so I begin to like them more because I can relate to this sort of food, love-hate thing with food. That's just so interesting to me.
I love that. We should do a whole episode on food. We probably could.
Yes.
Yeah.
Start with the waffles, right? I mean, when you
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
about, like, for example, the Eggo waffles, on our tour, we talk about this a lot, but E.T., of course, this reference to luring E.T. Elliot's got these Reese's Pieces, and he's luring in E.T. with Reese's Pieces, and you see the same thing nearly happen when it's Mike, who, by the way, you're a young boy. You are not allowed to touch many things in the kitchen. At this same time, you guys weren't here for this, but in the 80s, they had this hot dog cooker, okay? It was like two electrical needles that you would put as a child. You put a hot dog in there, and then it would electrocute the hot dog. You're home from school, latchkey kid, electrocuting hot dogs. That was kind of the limitations. You were not allowed near the stove. And so that's kind of where Mike is in this scene. I believe, hey, I'm limited to Eggo waffles. 11 falls in love with Eggo waffles, just like E.T. fell in love with these Reese's Pieces. I think that when you go back in time and you're dialing back the clock, you're like, oh my gosh, that was me. Like I couldn't touch any. I could only cook Eggo waffles. So I loved them. So I think you should do an episode on food, the food of Stranger Things. It's like brings a lot of emotion. Whatever they choose is highly emotional.
Yeah. And then also the connections, because the ET with the Reese's Pieces, but then in season 2, Will says that that's his favorite Halloween candy. So you said that you got to meet the Duffer Brothers, which, I mean, incredible. But
Yes.
being in the town where they're filming, have you met anyone else, and have you seen things being filmed?
So, yes and yes. We are under a very strict Netflix NDA. So we see a lot of things that we cannot talk about, unfortunately. But we, in terms of meeting the cast, so I went to, let's see, the Atlanta Comic-Con January of last year. I got to meet Sean Astin. And I brought a map, of downtown Hawkins. And I will say this is something amazing about Sean Astin, who plays Bob Newby in Stranger Things. I said, we just love you. We talk about you. We talk about Radio Shack. And he said, will you do me a big favor? Will you tell your mayor hello for me? Now, I went back home and I called our mayor and I said, well, guess what? Sean Astin wants me to say hello for you, hello to you from him. And he was like gobsmacked, of course. What a cool thing. But, that's the kind of character Sean Astin is. He is a gem of a human being. He is so friendly. But in terms of meeting most of the characters, no. We've seen them in person. So we've seen them on set for season 4. They used our house. So we live across from the Hawkins Presbyterian Church. And one day production, this was like in the middle, I would say like at the very end of them filming season 4. And they put a note in our mailbox and they said, hey, we are filming this random movie. And they put a lot of vowels together that didn't make any sense. Would you guys be interested in having your house in the show? And we said, yeah, we know it's Stranger Things, and we will gladly pay you to be in the show. And they're like, no, we'll pay you. So we kind of had a meltdown because our house was going to be in it, and we just could not wait to see that. And they said, by the way, this is for the last season. This is not for this season coming up. Don't like get excited. We have some friends in the UK. If you know, Netflix airs a little bit earlier in the UK than it does here in the East. And they called us. They said, you need to go home right now. Your house is in the piggyback episode. And we just like closed the shop. Goodbye. We're going home. And we watched it, and really it brought tears to our eyes. It's the evacuation scene where everybody is coming back. Everyone is, in the Surfer Boy pizza van or Hopper or Joyce, everybody coming back to Hawkins, while a majority of Hawkins is evacuating. So it's a very emotional scene, a lot of energy and kind of exciting. So I think, having our house, we've seen, like everybody, we did Stranger Con 2 years ago in Atlanta, and Millie Bobby Brown came out. She was actually working with a local dog rescue company at the time, and she was the most genuinely kind person, saying hi to everybody, all of the vendors, with her puppies. She was with Jake, and they were actually pushing around the senior dog in a little like dog baby carriage. She's constantly promoting the rescue of dogs, and there's just so many great things about the character. So we haven't met everybody. We intend to meet a lot of people this upcoming convention. I've got tickets to meet Dustin finally and Alexi. So that's what I'm really excited about.
That's awesome.
That'll be awesome.
How about you guys? Do you have tickets to see everybody?
way too many.
Way too
Yep.
many.
It's gonna be so amazing.
I don't think I'm going to be able to sit down for hours.
Yeah, we're gonna be busy.
Busy. Oh, that's so great.
So is there anything, Hannah, that your tour company is going to be doing for Stranger Things Day, or, anything special coming up the closer we get to season 5?
Yeah, so Stranger Things Day is so that's going to be coming up in early November, but we're actually going to be in Douglasville. So they do this amazing, they show on this giant jumbotron, a great movie. They have tons of vendors, but it's another opportunity for like engagement with other Stranger Things fans. So it's a really nice, like, collaborative, fun event. So that's what we'll be doing for Stranger Things Day.
What would you say is like your favorite piece of merch that you own?
So I'd say for us, things that are like from the 80s. So for example, like a TRC 214 walkie-talkie. That's a real Radio Shack walkie-talkie. It's the exact same model that they used in the show. And so that was fun to take when I got to meet Sean Astin and him hold it, and just, the connection between with the Radio Shack brand. I think for us, the things that we sell, we work with a lot of artists in Jackson, things that you just wouldn't find anywhere else. A guy named Will Rivera, for example, he's this amazing artist originally from Miami, and he makes these one-of-a-kind canvas Stranger Things pizza, like Stranger Things Server Boy pizza or Eddie Munson tributes that are just original art. We have some 3D artists that made like these really neat designed Demogorgons. So I think when it comes, of course, the Advent calendar. We do work with a lot of amazing distributors for Stranger Things merchandise. But a lot of it to me is just the passion. So if we have an artist that wants to sell something really unique and handcrafted, then we'll always bring it in. We also merge a lot of the 80s vibes. So we sell sea monkeys and, like I think we're the only store in Georgia that sells sea monkeys, which is kind of funny. But it was such a passion project for me because I had sea monkeys when I was a kid. And to me, that symbolizes the 80s. So we work with the actual manufacturer out of Australia. So if you are curious about some of the, symbolic 80s things, whether it be like a Rainbow Bright cup or Care Bears, the toy, My Little Pony things, I think that's all really fun. But also just like the original, handcrafted Stranger Things merch as well.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. We had such a fun time talking to you
Yeah,
a
today.
blast.
well, you guys are amazing. I love following you, obviously, on Instagram. And, I think it's such a fun world of Stranger Things fans, and that we all are so fond of the show and the characters and the creation of the Duffer Brothers. And you guys are going to have a great time in Hawkins. Safe travels down here. And if anybody has any questions about planning their trip, the city of Jackson does have a website. It's called www.strangerthingstv.net. And then you can check out like the local restaurant recommendations. Our website is www.strangertours.com. And this will be all about like Hawkins tours. But those are great places to start for planning your trip and making sure you have a chance to visit all of the Stranger Things to do.
Can't wait.
Yeah, that's amazing. We're so excited. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show with us.
Oh, pleasure. Thank you for having us.
And we will see you in just a few weeks.
Okay, see you soon. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. We have a guest joining us, and this is another local business person from Jackson, Georgia. And this is Allie from Lena Jane Boutique. Is that right?
So it's Lena Jane and Company. But yes, we are a boutique in Jackson.
Okay, awesome. So go ahead and tell us just a little bit about yourself and your business.
Okay, so I am a wife and mom first foremost, 3 kids, but I have been a small business owner for I think 6 years now. I'm going on 7. Started online and then had a mobile little trailer that I took around the festivals. And then I had this is my 3rd storefront, but my dream storefront. I've always wanted to be on the square in Jackson, and it is just a dream being there. I can't wait for y'all to see it because my store is absolutely beautiful.
That's amazing. That's so exciting. And that's cool that like you started and
Hmm.
have like built up to where you wanted to be.
Absolutely. So I wanted to ask, are you a fan of the show? And if so, have you been a fan since the beginning, or is there a particular season that really stood out to you? So funny enough, I am not even a fan. I have not watched it. And I love that I get to
I
tell
love
y'all
that.
that. That's amazing. But my kids have watched it. My husband have watched it, which I say my kids are younger, so they have not watched the fourth season. My husband will not let them because it gets, the little bit scarier. But I have learned so much just from people being in the store, people coming in. I mean, the just even having Hawkins down the street, I learned a lot from. I don't know if y'all met Cameron and Hannah, but I learned a lot from
Mhm.
Cameron because they actually are a vendor in my store with one of their businesses. So I talked to him a lot, and then my employee is a huge, huge fan. So I have learned a lot over time, but I have still not seen the show.
That's so funny. You'll have to watch it
I
eventually.
know.
Yeah, that's funny. I think we did talk to Hannah and she was telling us like that like kind of the evolution of like they had their storefront and then kind of like transitioned
Hmm.
towards the Hawkins stuff and put their stuff in a different storefront. So
Hmm.
I guess that's your store.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Even though you are not necessarily a fan of the show, has it been interesting kind of like seeing your town be used for filming and things like that? What has that experience been like?
Oh, absolutely. So my store, I've actually only been in town now for a little over a year. So my storefront opened in September of last year, but we have now filmed once, and you can see, actually, I'm kind of sad that Hannah and Cameron moved because they were kind of up from me where I saw their tours go by every day. And that is so cool to me to see all these people coming into town just to do this tour and just to see where they film, but it is a very cool experience no matter what is filming. Like, I don't care if the Care Bears were filming. Like, it is a cool experience to see everything going on.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like that's just kind of I think anybody getting to watch something being filmed
Mhm.
like right where they are is probably pretty awesome.
With the Upside Down convention coming up so soon, is your boutique going to be involved with the convention whatsoever? Or what are you like kind of excited about with all of these fans coming to Jackson? I am excited. One, I think every business is doing their own kind of little thing to kind of get people in the door. So as of us, we actually do the like wine night. Sorry, that was country. Wine night paint parties. And we actually, my vendor that does the paint parties is going to do a Stranger Things paint party and an 80s like black light paint party on Friday night and Saturday night. And I think that's going to be so much fun. But then too, like we're all going to have our individual little things we're bringing into our stores to kind of, bring people in. But then just even being there, like I'm honored to be a part of it. It's going to be so much fun. I am nervous. It seems like it's going to be it's a large amount of people for our town that I don't know that we've seen before, but it's exciting at the same time.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit more about the things that you're bringing into the shop for fans to come in and have that cool shopping experience.
So I got made some Hawkins stuff. Because I know Stranger Things is actually very, not Stranger Things, probably Netflix is very big on the trademark and stuff. So we tried not to we don't want to step on anybody's toes, but we did some Hawkins stuff. And I actually have a vendor in my store that is my employee that I was talking about. She's an employee and vendor. She does antiques, daffodil antiques, and she is bringing in all kinds of vintage, like 80s stuff. And then she's been collecting the like enamel pins, the Stranger Things ones. And so she has a ton of stuff that she's bringing in for the weekend. And then, like I said, I just did some like Hawkins stuff. So that way you had a t-shirt, like when you went home that said Hawkins.
That's really cool because I know they are going to have like a limited amount of vendors at the convention, but I think it's going to be awesome for people to go into town and be able to go into the shops and shop as if they were at like a big convention, but
Hmm.
even like a more interesting and cool experience to shop in that way and be able to buy merch for the show and things like that, like in these little shops in town. So
Absolutely. What does your boutique usually sell? Like, what exactly, because I know you said you had different, like, vendors and stuff that sell their own merchandise, but if someone was just taking a random vacation down in your town, what could they actually find in your boutique?
So we started as a just women's clothing boutique, but we've kind of evolved a little bit over time where I told you we have the antique vendor. She has so much good stuff in our store, like antiques and gift wise. And then we also, like I said, I do women's clothing, accessories, stuff like that. But we also have a ton of gifts. And then another one of our vendors is actually like a kids bamboo jammies, the like pajamas, and they're so nice. She has great prints, and then we have, like I said, a couple more vendors. Gold Lion, which is Hannah and Cameron, they do all kinds of handmade and organic soaps and laundry soaps and other little gifts like that. So we have a ton of good stuff in our store any other time.
I know the meet and greets haven't been officially announced yet. Hopefully, fingers crossed, by the time that this episode comes out, which will be on Friday of this week, that will be like announced. So you don't have to say any like specifics, but like, are you excited to host some of these meet and greets? How are you feeling about that?
I am absolutely excited. Like I said, I the two characters I have, I don't really know that well, but that's okay. I mean, we're just excited. I mean, like I said before, I'm excited to do anything that has to do with it.
I'm pretty sure she told us. I think Priya
And
is one of
Grace.
yours.
Yes.
And
Yep.
Grace.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. They both seem like absolute sweethearts. Like, so that's going to be amazing. Yeah.
I just love how everybody talks about Grace or Chrissy. Like, they're like, yeah, the one that dies, like, first. Like, that's everybody's first comment is like, yeah, she's the one that dies in one episode. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But she made such a big impact.
Yes.
Like,
Mhm.
she brought so much life to that character. So even though she literally dies snap crackle pop at the first episode,
Yeah.
like she's a very like beloved character for
Yes,
sure.
That's what I've heard.
And Priya that plays Erica she's been in it since season 2. She was just like a baby basically in the second season. Like she's only like, I mean, I think she just turned 18.
Yeah.
She did.
Like,
I did
so-
look that up.
Yeah, so it's like she was 10, I
Yeah.
guess, maybe even younger than that, playing like a maybe 8-year-old. We've just like watched her grow up. I mean, all of the kids, we've like watched them grow up a little bit on this show, but for her, like she was like younger than like the boys. So
Mhm.
it's been really cool to like see her and just, yeah, she seems super sweet. So I'm sure you'll have a blast with that.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, but this has been like one of our number one things we've been excited about all year. Like we bought our tickets in January, like when it was literally only Millie that had been announced. And yeah, so it's the fact that like in 2 weeks it's almost going to be over. Like yeah. So it's surreal that it's like finally here. So we're super excited.
It looks like a ton of people I guess there's a group on Facebook. I don't know if y'all are in it, but for the con, and a lot of people are asking for tickets now, and people are like, you can't even resell them. But it sucks
Yeah,
that you
no.
waited too late.
Exactly. Like you snooze, you lose.
I know. You'll have to wait
Yep.
till next year if they come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we're like, we just want everybody to like be like, we're just hoping that like everybody that comes just like makes it a good experience for
Yeah.
everybody else, and like that everybody is happy so that like it could be a potential to happen in the future.
Mhm.
So
Nice. Yeah.
fingers crossed.
That's what the city is. I don't know if y'all talked to anybody, but the city is trying to do a lot just to make sure that it is a very good experience. And, it doesn't look bad on us as a city, just because, like I
Yeah.
said, I don't think we've ever had this many people in town. And it is scary for us too, as being there full time, having all these people coming in that we've never had before.
Yeah.
And they put out a whole website to tell you like where to eat, where to go, all that good stuff. And then
Nice.
we're having like a food truck park in the city, not outside of the con. That way, because our restaurants, like we don't have a ton of restaurants, and they definitely can't handle 3,000 people if that's how many people are going to be here.
Exactly.
So we have a food truck park come in, and then like the chamber got one of our local colleges to put together the upside down in the basement of the courthouse. So there's like a lot of fun things that the city's doing just to kind of get people out and about and keep them into Jackson.
Yeah, because I think that you've got a little bit of tourism
Hmm.
starting to build around the show, which
Yes.
is amazing. Like I was there in November of 2022, so
Okay.
it was like right before like I think Hannah and Cameron started like really expanding their business, and there was like a few things around the square like kind of Stranger Things related, but I'm just so excited to go now and see like the
Yeah.
whole transformation. And I think it would be awesome for you guys to, like, build your tourism, like, to just have people want to come back and
Exactly.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
think a lot of people didn't even realize that it was filmed in Jackson. Like they're like, "What's Jackson?" Which if it wasn't for Stranger Things, y'all would be saying, "What is Jackson?" It's very
Yeah,
small.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely, but it's adorable,
Yes,
yeah, and
yes,
once people get there and they see it, they're gonna get it, like,
yes.
this is the town, like, this is Hawkins, downtown Hawkins.
Yeah, and I think I did not say this, and I should have, but a lot of the businesses are at least decorating too. My antique girl, she decorated our store beautifully. Like there are every single one of our mannequins in the window is dressed in a costume. We have like Max and Chrissy and Millie and or 11. She decorated all of our little mannequins, so people have been stopping and taking pictures. And then she did like red and black all over the store and stuff. So it is very cool. And then I know the other local businesses are going to be decorating a little bit more. I think Hawkins headquarters is a little scarier than us, but they have like these creepy hanging bats outside of their store.
Oh gosh, yeah, the bats are, like, a big part of the end of season
Yeah,
4.
so they have like they're hanging off of their I think their awning outside, but everybody is trying to decorate and kind of make it, more of a cool place to be.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I'm sure you guys are gonna be busy the next couple weeks getting ready for
Yes,
us, but we can't wait to meet you and to see your shop and to just be there for the weekend. So it's gonna be amazing.
we can't wait to have y'all.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on with
Thank
us.
Of
you.
course, of course.
All right. Well, we are joined by Donna from Jackson Escape Games, which we are very excited about. Hello, Donna. How are you?
Hello, I'm great. How are y'all doing?
Hanging in there.
We're doing pretty good, pretty good. Excited to talk to you.
Of course.
I'm excited too.
So, Donna, we wanted to ask, how did Jackson Escape Games come to be? Could you tell us a little bit about your journey on how you got started with this?
So, Jackson itself, the Chamber of Commerce in Jackson, was working with a friend of mine who does a lot of marketing and advertising for towns. And most recently, she worked in the city of Covington and had a lot to do with Vampire Diaries and stuff. But anyway, when she was working with Jackson, they wanted to vamp up Stranger Things and get Jackson known for being Stranger Things and Hawkins, Indiana. And she asked them, well, would you like an escape room? And so it went from there to me coming out and talking to them about it. They were very excited. At that time, they actually thought they were going to put me on the second floor of the courthouse there in the middle of the square. And then all of a sudden, within a few weeks, the building that was used as Radio Shack from Stranger Things came available, and I jumped on that thing. So that's how we got in that building. We built it out, and we now have 5 games. 4 of them are Stranger Things themed, and the 5th one is not, but it's so much fun.
So was this something that you had done before, or is this your first time running escape
Yes.
games? Okay.
No, I've been in the business for about 4.5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then when did this open? When did your Jackson?
Sure. This one actually opened April of 2023. So
Okay.
about a year and a half.
Cool. That's super cool. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the rooms and some of the themes in the rooms?
I can. So the very first room we opened was Escape Vecna's Control. It's set up like the Krill House attic where Vecna lives and takes control of all of his victims. And today he's got his eyes set on Max, and your objective is to help her escape his control. So The next one we opened up was the Escape Hawkins Laboratory. It's set up as the Rainbow Room where all the kids go play. And in another section of the escape room, or in the another section of the laboratory, a Demogorgon has penetrated the portal. And so you've got to secure that portal. And that is the objective of that one. Another one that we have is Escape the Upside Down. It's set up as Eddie's trailer park in the Upside Down. He's on top of his trailer playing the guitar, and you are trying to escape while he is distracting the Demobats from trying to get you. Our fourth Stranger Things escape room, all of those that I've already mentioned are 1 hour long. The fourth one is a 15-minute long room. Just for those that don't have an hour to kill, they might have 15 minutes. So it's Hopper's cabin. The mind flare's in there. Eleven's been in there blindfolded trying to find where he was. Now that he knows where now that she knows where he's at, he knows where she's at, and he's on his way. So you got to hurry up and get out of there. And then the fifth one is not Stranger Things themed. It's the dungeon. And the old hag has had you locked up in there because you've trespassed on her property. And she is trying to cook dinner, and now you're on the menu. So you got to hurry up and get out of there, too.
That's fantastic. Those all sound
Oh
amazing.
my God.
They
Yeah.
are.
Stacey, what's your favorite one out of that?
I mean, I think you saw me light up like a Christmas tree at the Eddie one. Right away, I went, ooh, I've never done an escape room, which it's funny. Like, the most I'm familiar with is that, I don't know if anyone's watched Schitt's Creek, where they keep calling it the panic room instead. And I've never done one because I'm really bad at solving puzzles. But I've talked to Megan, I've talked to so many other friends, and they're like, they're so much fun, especially if you're
They
doing
are.
it with a group. So I am very enticed right now.
Yes. And so for the weekend, while we have the convention going on, anybody that books a room, or actually anybody that plays the game, gets to spin our prize wheel. And every item or everything that you land on is a winner. And the prizes are photo cards of the cast members. They're double-sided photo cards. So what we're going to have is the cast members' names all over that wheel, and whoever you land on, that's the one you get. But it's double-sided, so you get most of the time those photo cards are single-sided. Mine's double-sided, so you actually get 2 for 1.
Look at you.
And
Yeah, that's awesome. That's super fun. So, are you a fan of Stranger Things, and how long have you been watching the show? When did you get into it?
So I am a fan. So if I get to meet any of them, I will be just so excited. And I'll be fangirling. But I actually started watching it when season 1 came around, and I was so excited about it. Couldn't wait for the next season. Never saw that it came out. So it was a while after it actually came out. I think season 3 was even out by the time I watched season 2. And then I watched season 2, season 3, and of course season 4. And I can't wait for season 5. And once season 5 comes out, we'll try to pull something exciting out and change up one of the escape rooms, one of the older escape rooms, so people can come back and play it as well.
I have to ask Donna, which season is your favorite?
I have to say it's 4. It
So
has to
good.
be 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most of my escape rooms are from season 4. Escape Vecna's Controller season 4 and Escape the Upside Down season 4. So yeah, I'd have to say season 4.
I love that.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite characters?
Yeah, Billy. And guess what? We get to see him at the homecoming.
I know that's going to be so cool. Like, because tell us a little bit more about that. That's a good transition into that. So you are co-hosting with the Carmichael House some of these after parties. So do you want to talk a little bit about those?
Yes, so those were all my idea. I actually, if I can back up just a minute, I actually called Alexis because of my ties with Covington. I already knew Alexis from the Vampire Diaries convention she does. So I called her one day and I was like, "Hey, Alexis, would you help me bring a Stranger Things themed convention to Jackson? We are Hawkins, Indiana." And she said, and here's that funny story I was going to tell you. She said, "Funny story. Millie Bobby Brown just asked me the same thing." So here we are.
Wow.
She said we got to do it. So
Yeah, that's amazing because we told her we first interviewed Alexis back in May, and we told her that we had been kind of like hoping for something like this because we were aware of the Vampire Diaries conventions, and we're just huge fans of the show, and we like going to conventions and like meeting cast members, but we were like, how cool would it be to like have just a Stranger Things convention? And in Jackson, I had been there before, like to go
okay.
visit filming locations and everything. So yeah, we were kind of talking about it. And as we were talking about it, it was actually like happening. So
That's awesome.
that was really cool.
So as soon as I got off the phone with Alexis, I immediately called my friends over at the Carmichael house because I know it's not the Creel house, but it just reminds me of that style of home. So I was like, wouldn't it be cool, since y'all are a wedding event venue, to have events here during the con? And I only wanted one because I knew I wanted Billy to crown a homecoming queen. But the Carmichael ladies told me, if we're going to do one, why don't we do one all 3 nights? I'm like, okay. So there we are.
That's awesome. Be still
Yeah,
my
that's so
heart.
cool.
Dacre Montgomery is just, oh my goodness. Like, I swoon when I see him. And then that accent too, like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah, we're super,
Mhm.
I just can't wait.
super excited.
So, with the convention coming up, could you go a little more into detail about what's going to be going on that weekend with your business?
Or with a little bit more about the other after parties
The other
too.
after parties that are
Yeah.
going on. Yes.
Yes. So the after parties are Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. Friday nights will be from 5 o'clock till 10 o'clock because the convention obviously isn't going on, so we can start earlier. Check-in starts at 5. We'll have a beautiful sit-down catered dinner because it's homecoming, right? You got to get all dressed up and have a really good meal.
True.
And then about 7 o'clock, 2 hours after check-in started, dinner, people will be eating. About 7 o'clock, I'm thinking everybody should be done eating. So we'll be starting the lineup of the homecoming court, which we already have chosen. And they've all started their little campaigns. It's going to be so much fun. But 7 o'clock, we'll start doing the runway of the homecoming court. They'll answer at least one question each. And because we had so many young, I guess, teenagers apply for the homecoming
Yeah.
court, we split it. We're now going to have a homecoming princess crowned, a homecoming queen crowned, and a king crowned because we did have a
that.
yeah. But of course, we're going to have a DJ. We're going to have a cash bar. There's going to be so much fun going on all night long. We've got trivia questions, raffle prizes to sprinkle in throughout the night. It's just going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, Saturday night is the 80s dance and the costume contest. You can either dress as your favorite 80s attire or you can dress as any of the characters because we're going to have prizes for that. And we also got Hopper's police officer, Officer K from the show. He's going to be there emceeing for the costume contest. And what else? We're going to, of course, have dancing all night long. The cash bar still. We'll have food. I believe that night is Moe's. So it'll be like a taco bar buffet thing. Sunday, we're having Aiden Fisher, who actually played the Master of Puppets for Eddie in the Upside Down season 4. And he's going to do a little concert for us. He told us it's going to be an acoustic concert, so we'll
Cool.
have that. And when he's not there playing for us. We still got our DJ, so we're going to have music all night long. We can dance, have the cash bar. And that night, we're going to have Sonny's barbecue because you can't come to the South without having some barbecue. Sunday night, so that we can fill in because he's not going to be playing the concert the whole time. So we decided to do a human slot machine. So we're going to have 3 people in there, and they're going to each hold up whatever. It might just be pictures of the cast members. I'm not sure what they're going to be holding up, but they're not going to see each other. And when you act like you're pulling the slot, they do their thing, and you might win a prize, you may not. If they all
Ooh.
pull up the same thing, then you get a prize. We got prizes going on every night,
I
by the way.
love that.
That's so
Yeah.
cute. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a lot of fun all 3 nights.
Oh, that sounds like a blast.
Yeah. So if anybody's listening and they're attending for the weekend, are your escape room games pretty booked for the weekend, or do you have availability?
Of availability. So everybody needs to start booking before it books up solid. We are opening longer hours than normal. And I'll be opening them up probably today, but we're going to be open 10 to 10. We are hosting a meet and greet before we open each day. So Saturday and Sunday we'll have a meet and greet, and they'll be scooting out the door when games start. But yeah, so we'll be open 10 to 10 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So get your games booked as quick as you can because I'm sure it's going to sell out.
Yeah. Our question is the cast member playing the escape room game?
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Is it like a 15-minute one, or like how's that going to work?
Well, this cast member has been here a few times,
Okay.
and he sort of already knows the games a little bit. And the one that he doesn't know, because they're going to do one that he has done on Saturday, and then he's going to do the other one on Sunday. So he's coming in on Thursday, hint, hint, and going to do that one so he can be a little familiar, can help everybody out. Because they
Oh.
only get an hour. They
Yeah.
only get an hour for the meet and greet.
Right.
And the game is an hour. So we really need to try and speed it up. And for him to kind of know the game, it'll help speed it up.
Yeah.
And that
yeah.
way,
Good.
they can still have time to do their selfies and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get a game with their meet and
That's
greet.
really cool. Yeah, that's super cool. We've been told that there's been lots of NDAs signed, but we were just wondering like what the experience has been like of like being in town as filming has happened. So like, is there anything you can just say about like how it felt to be there? Like that must have been really cool.
It was really cool. I actually got to see them set up, and it took them about 2 weeks to set up and
Wow.
then just a few days to tear it down. But during filming, they actually told me that you're not going to get in your building because our building is on the street that they use.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't even try to go those days. I've seen lots of pictures, but the actual days of filming, I wasn't there. One of my employees tried to go to our building, and they were like, "No, get away!" And she said they were mean, but they had to. They couldn't let her over there. So yeah, I didn't go when they were actually filming, but I do know some of the other merchants that are not on 2nd Street. They were sitting in their windows on the floor watching the whole thing.
That's amazing.
That's fantastic. That must be just such a cool experience to have.
It really was. And to watch what they were putting on the street and how they were doing it, that was a lot of fun too. Even though they didn't have any of the characters there, just seeing what they were building was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. We're so excited for season 5. Yeah.
We are too. I can tell you that there's a lot going on in Jackson. The Chamber of Commerce has worked very closely with our local college, Southern Crescent Technical College, and they are actually turning 2nd Street into the Upside Down.
That's awesome.
Okay. So there's going to be demogorgons. There's going to be vines everywhere. There's going to be Vecna hovering somewhere. I'm not going to tell you where. I already know where he's going to be.
Ooh.
The basement of the Chamber of Commerce, which is the courthouse, used to be the courthouse across the street from us. It's in the center of the square. Their basement is going to be turned into the Upside Down. And I do know that everybody's going to get to go in there. I don't know if there's going to be a cost, though. So there's going to be that. Of course, we've got our thing. And then Hawkins Headquarters has a lot of stuff going on. I know they're going to do karaoke one night. We have an amazing haunted house that's going on in the month of October. So they are going to be running a trolley from the square back to their haunted house,
That's
which
cool.
is not that far off the square. You actually could walk to it. It's just a little bit of a hike. But they're going to have trolleys running back and forth. Lena Jane's is going to have a paint party. Gosh, there's just so much going on. I can't even think right now.
I did read the little Know Before You Go guide that
Yes,
put
yes.
together. So that
There
was
you
really
go.
helpful. Stacey, have you looked at it
Yes,
yet?
it looks fantastic.
Because it looks like the basement, like you said, is open like pretty late in the
Yeah.
evenings too, so people can head over after the convention and after their meet and greets and stuff. So that's going to be pretty cool. We're definitely going to need to check that out.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's going to be such a fun weekend, and we're really hopeful that it will kind of, be great for your town and just build this tourism around Stranger Things, because I mean, I had already gone just because I wanted to see the town because it was filmed in the show, and I know other people
Yeah.
have, but just to now know that, like, we're already planning a trip back because we're like, we've spent so much money to actually be at the convention and do photo ops and things like that, that like, we feel like we're not going to be able to do everything that we would love to do the
Right.
whole weekend. So like,
Right.
we need to come back.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah. So it's going to be great.
So can I add something to the events we're having at the Carmichael House?
Yeah.
So I didn't mention Saturday and Sunday both start at 6 o'clock. Check-in starts at 6, but the events themselves, like the actual costume contest and the actual concert, don't start till like 8. So we'll be doing check-in. We'll have a lot of free selfie stations. We'll have Hopper's police chief truck out there. We'll have demogorgons. We'll have the grandfather clock. So there'll be a lot of different things you can take selfies at. We'll be serving dinner before the event really gets started. So even if somebody has meet and greets or autographs and it's holding them over and they're like, oh, well, I'm not going to go to that event because I'm going to miss most of it. Well, not really, because the best part doesn't start until 8 o'clock those 2 nights. So definitely, if somebody feels like, they don't want to buy a ticket, they still can. And the tickets will be sold if we're not sold out, because we are getting close to being sold out. But if the tickets are not completely sold out, we will be selling them at the door as well. So
Yeah,
So
that's great
cool.
to know. Just because people might say, oh, like, I didn't plan on going, but I don't have anything else to do for dinner. Let's go to the event. So yeah.
and that's another thing. The caterers, especially for homecoming, our cutoff for that to give them food will be October 11th. Saturday and Sunday, I think the 16th. So 2 days or 3 days prior to those events, we have to give them their head count. So if somebody wants to come, and if we still have tickets available for Saturday and Sunday at the door, those will be no food tickets, and they will be at a cheaper price because there's no food involved.
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you
was
so much.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no problem. I don't mind. I hope you can edit all that in to where it sounds good.
it's going to sound great.
It's going to sound amazing.
And I know I got my southern drawl in there. Sorry.
I love your accent, by the way. I love it. When we were talking to a few other people from Jackson, I was like, because I'm from New England, so I'm just like, this is just so like cozy. Like, I love a Southern accent, so you are adorable.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, so it was really, really great to meet you. We're
Yes.
super excited to see you in a couple weeks. And
Yes.
yeah, we just can't wait.
Yeah, come see us.
All right. So our next guest that we're going to be talking to is Brittany, and Brittany is from Vintage Vineyard, and we are super excited to chat with you today. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the business?
Yeah. So my name is Brittany. I am 32 this October. I have a little girl and I'm married. And basically, me and my little girl live at the store. Any given time that we're there, I'm pretty much there. And she's usually my little sidekick right there with me. Instead of being a shop dog, she's like our shop baby. And yeah, so we are kind of a unique type of store. We are made up of vendors. So we have over 20 local Georgia based small businesses within our little store. They offer anything between gifts. We have apparel, accessories, items like that. We've got things for children, for men, for women. We also sell boutique clothing and then local Georgia wine as well.
Ooh,
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, that's such a cool combination. So when did you open?
So we are going to be celebrating our fourth birthday November 2nd this year. I'm actually the second owner of the store. I bought it back in February of last year and have just kind of, been figuring it out ever since then.
Yeah, that's super cool.
All right, Brittany. So, are you a fan of the show Stranger Things?
Yes, we binge watched every season within 2 days every time it came out. So it's been a minute since we've watched it. It's on my agenda to binge watch all the seasons this week just to kind of
Smart.
get refreshed for everything. But yes, we love Stranger Things. We're super excited for the convention.
That's amazing.
I
That's a
love that.
great idea. I feel like we need to do that too, along
Yeah.
with like all the other stuff we need to do to prepare.
We got our homework to do.
Yeah.
Brittany, since you're such a fan, answer 2 questions, please. What is your favorite season and what is your favorite character?
I would say last season was my favorite because it was just like spooky. Like I feel like season 1 was very like 80s and kind of sci-fi, which it still kind of is, but this last season was kind of like creepy. When Chrissy started snapping and popping all over the place, I was like, okay. And I would say my favorite character is probably Max, just because, she's kind of feisty and unpredictable.
is.
You don't really know. You got to kind of peel the onion back to get to know the real Max. So I really like Max a lot.
Love that.
She's amazing. She's definitely one of our favorites as well. Yeah. Are you planning on meeting any of the cast while they're here for the convention?
So we are supposed to have meet and greets in store. As of right now, I believe we're going to have 2 different characters available in store for private meet and greets. We did just sign our contracts, which makes me feel like that's set in stone.
It's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. I know Alexis is really wanting to like announce all of that like as soon as
Yeah.
she can. And she definitely mentioned you as somebody that we should talk to.
Yeah, she's super cool. I love her. She's the
Awesome.
nicest.
Yeah, she's really sweet. So, yeah, so you'll get to meet them, obviously, because they're coming to do their meet and greets at your store. So
Yeah.
that'll be awesome. We're so excited to find out like where everyone's meet and greets are. Like we have kind of like ones that we definitely want to try to go to, but it's also going to be really cool to see like where all of them are going to be and kind of make some of our decisions based on that. So
Yeah.
that's
And
fun.
from my understanding, they've been kind of like it really depends on the talent and what the talent has been wanting to do to where they ended up putting them. And I think that's kind of cool. They're not just assigning them places, like the talent themselves has an opinion. So that's kind of neat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So cool. Like we were just talking about that with the ice cream event with Joe and Maya. Like Maya Hawk wanted to do that with Joe. And that was just like one of the most cool things that we actually did get tickets for it. So we're going to be there. And just to know that that was something that she wanted to do. It wasn't just something that the con suggested to her. So yeah. Another thing that we were wondering, so you have been in town for a little while now. I know that you can't tell any specifics, but we just love hearing about like what the experience was like being there when they were filming. So can you talk about that at all?
It was pretty cool. I mean, like they close off, the street and the sidewalk. So we're not really allowed to go all up in the business, but I remember
Yeah.
seeing the road closures, and they had some old school police cars parked out on the street, and I was just running to the post office, and it's a whole Stranger Things situation going on, and you could see the cast members running to where they were keeping all the cast, behind filming, and so that was really neat. Everyone goes crazy when Stranger Things filming is in town. Everybody flocks over here to try to catch a glimpse and stuff, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm sure that's like just an exciting experience. And it'll be really cool when you get to see season 5 and just know that like you were there when they were doing that. Were
Yeah.
you around in Jackson at all while they were filming season 4?
Yes, we were there. We got to see a couple little snippets. We've gotten to see a couple little upcoming snippets. We're real excited for this upcoming season. I think that downtown Jackson is going to have a big part for this next season.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
awesome.
hoping
Yeah.
anyway. Like, no one's confirmed that, but I just feel like the way that the 4th season ended, it just kind of
Yeah.
makes it seem like it.
Yeah, because they all kind of came back. So they're all back in Hawkins, like, and to have them all in Hawkins, they're probably gonna like be in downtown Hawkins. So
Yeah.
that's really cool.
That's awesome. So with the convention coming up, Brittany, we know that, you're possibly going to be hosting, 2 of the talents, but is there anything else that your business is going to be doing for the convention coming up? Any special events or anything in store that's going on that weekend?
So our vendors have been working really hard on offering their own little items that they've been hand making themselves. We'll have our own little T-shirts and Stranger Things merch. We'll have a really epic decoration installment that I am so excited for. I have been working so hard for this little thing. I'm trying to kind of transform the store. So our store is generally really girly. It's pink. I want to kind of make sure that even if pink's not your thing, you know that our store is for you and you're welcome to come on in. So I'm definitely embracing the Stranger Things theme. We're going to have Stranger Things themed drinks available. We do sell wine. You can purchase wine flights, but we have a wine slushy machine. And so
Oh my
we've got
God.
some pretty cool wine slushies up our sleeve, and we're just really excited. We got free gifts with a purchase. If they follow us on Instagram, they'll get a percentage off of their sales or something like that. We also have a trucker hat bar in store, so you can come in and customize trucker hats, but we've specifically have Stranger Things themed patches and pins in case the, normal thing that we have on our trucker bar isn't your thing. We've got options. So it's going to be a good time. We're excited.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited for those wine slushies. I did see that on the little like you know before you go guide that got put out, that there was going to be wine slushies, and we were like, we need to get those wine slushies.
It's happening.
We're gonna have wines. We're gonna have our alcoholic wine option, and then we'll also have a non-alcoholic option. But the wine slushies are where it's at. They are good.
That's awesome.
You should pregame before the ice cream song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we don't have a meet and greet at that time, that's
I know.
definitely where we're going to be.
Yes, absolutely.
And I just love that, because just that combination, like I've been to like a bookstore that also has like a wine bar before, and I just love like that combination of having like a shop, but also you can like buy wine and drink wine
Yeah.
there. Like that's just a fun business model, I think.
Yeah, we strongly encourage sip and shopping. And we've got a little sitting area. You can come by, get a glass, get a flight, and just chit chat, hang out, and then go check out all the stuff our vendors have to offer.
I'm
Awesome.
excited.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to mention about like things going on in Jackson that you know of?
I just think, overall, everybody is really pulling together to kind of execute the Stranger Things theme. We do have a local haunted house right down the street. I think it's called Terror Mills. And so that's something fun that you could do. We've got the escape room that's Stranger Things themed. We've got Stranger Things tours. They just moved to a new location right down the street, and it is so nice. Like, I would totally put it on your list of things to do is to stop by there. They've got an arcade that you can, participate in. And then not too far down the street, there is like a small community called Indian Springs Village. And they have a very good restaurant, little shops. They're right beside Indian Springs State Park, so that's a cool little thing you could go and see. And there's cottages and stuff that you could rent out if you still haven't found, accommodations. They may be booked up. I don't know, but Indian Springs is a really cool spot to go to if, you're going to stay for a couple of extra days and get to go 15 minutes down the street. That is where I would send you.
Yeah,
Love
that's
that.
awesome. I know we're already kind of like trying to plan our next trip back because I feel
Yes.
like we're gonna want to do more and not get to do it all in the time that we're there. But it's really cool to see all of the local businesses, all of you guys like supporting each other and kind of coming together for this. So is that something that kind of is like amped up with the Stranger Things, or are you like always just kind of a good little community of businesses?
I feel like we're all pretty tight knit. We all want each other to succeed and to do well. You're not a thriving community if there's nothing going on in it. So I'm
Hmm.
always for supporting small businesses, eating local, shopping local, the whole thing. And there's honestly a lot more to do here than there's ever been before. So there's a lot to do. You could see a lot, visit a lot, shop a lot, and eat a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because I'm thinking, like, if anybody's listening to this podcast and they're not coming for the weekend, like, definitely come at some point because you guys have such an amazing little community and lots of cool local businesses.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, it was super nice to connect with you and to chat with you.
It was a pleasure talking to you, Brittany, and we're really looking forward to checking out your shop.
Yeah, us too. Thanks for having me, and I can't wait to see y'all in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. We'll
Sounds
see you
good.
soon.
Bye.
All right. So that was such a blast to do all of those interviews. We had such a fun time and we are just super excited to get to experience all that Jackson has in store for us for the Epic Cons Upside Down weekend. So hopefully everybody enjoyed that. Like we said last week, we're going to kind of shorten our other segments
Yeah.
for the next few weeks. So we typically do filming updates and merch segments. We're just going to go through that kind of quickly today. No secret segment. If you know, you know, but we promise we got you soon with a bonus episode or maybe a live or something like that. So for filming updates, we did get some photos from Sean Levy. So, what were some of the photos that he posted, Stacey?
So the photos that I do remember seeing is there's shots of them at the high school, I believe. I think we actually got a shot of Maya and Winona together, which was really cool.
Oh, there was a photo of them with like a backdrop that looks like the alphabet with the lights.
Yes.
So that was interesting.
I wonder if we're going to be getting a flashback possibly, or maybe it's going to make a comeback. Who knows?
Yeah. And then did you see those people in those weird suits?
Yeah. What is up with
That
that?
is really creepy. Do you think it's some sort of like special effects, like they're like a green screen type suit,
That's
or
what I'm kind of thinking. It could be something that they're gonna do in post. But that was really, really weird. And it looked like it was at the lab and they were in hospital gowns. Maybe it's a flashback because we do remember, spoiler alert, Vecna, a.k.a. One Henry, he killed a lot of kids, so they could be de-aging them and making them look like the kids. Who knows?
okay.
But we also saw this weird, like, and it looks like it's in Vecna's, like, lair, like, mind with all the red, and it looks like a balcony or some shit. But
Yeah.
that was freaky. That was weird.
Yeah, for sure. So they were very artistic photos
They
too. I
were.
feel like the photos he posts are always very cool. So for merch, I was kind of bummed because my
Yeah.
Squishmallows that I ordered, the Scoops Ahoy ones, they, I guess, have inventory issues with Walmart, and my pre-order was actually canceled. So, um, yeah, so I was super excited for those, so kind of bummed, but I did get something else that I've been kind of excited about. I got the Polly Pocket set.
That's so cool.
So I have not opened it up yet, but the actual box that it comes in is just already adorable.
Mhm.
And it was on Amazon and the price was reduced from $50 to like 38 something. So
That's
I
a
was like,
steal.
"Ooh, I need to jump on that because that's a great discount."
Mhm.
So I knew that I was gonna like that's what I said, that I wanted to wait until it kind of went on sale. So I'm
Mm.
glad I did that. So save $12 or whatever.
Woo!
Did you get any new merch this week?
So that artist Keys, who is Corroded Coffin, like manager on Twitter, I did get their little print of like baby Eddie with the frog being like, Uncle Wayne says I should keep him.
Oh yeah, so
And
that came in.
that
Yeah.
came in, I framed him. He's hanging up on the little gallery wall, but I also got you one as well. So you are a
Oh
proud
yeah.
owner of a little baby Eddie and frog.
That'll be super exciting. I'm excited to get that. I'm sure you can bring it to me at the con maybe.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we are pretty much finished for today, and we will talk to you again next week with another cool episode with someone who's going to be at the convention.
Yep.
And then we'll be, at the convention that weekend.
Off to the
So,
races.
yeah, we will see you then. And for now, over and out.
Over and out.